The average wage in the Premier League has now risen above £50,000 a week, or £2.6 million a year, which is quite a tidy sum of money. Whilst the 9 best paid players in world football all ply their trade outside of England, the fact that the lesser clubs in the Premier League still have very high earners make it the best paying division on the planet. Today, we're going to take a look at every club's highest paid player. To make matters clear, in the case of ties where 2 or more players have the same weekly wage, we'll go by the appearance bonus. If it's still level, we'll look at goal or clean sheet bonuses, and if there's still nothing to split them, we'll just feature the 2 players as a tie. Here is the best paid player at every Premier League club. AFC Bournemouth, ASMIR BEGOVIC. Going in alphabetical order, as we tend to, we start with AFC Bournemouth, and perhaps something of a surprise. The Cherries' best paid player is their number 1 ASMIR BEGOVIC, which may have something to do with the fact that he arrived at the Vitality Stadium from Chelsea. The Bosnian international is picking up a reported £70,000 a week on the south coast, and he is followed by Jermaine Defoe and Jefferson Lerma in the club's earning charts, with Eddie Howe's top scorer and star man Callum Wilson only coming in at 7th. We suspect that that could change when he signs his next deal. Arsenal, Mesut Ozil. Well, there are no surprises here. Arsenal's best paid player, and by some distance too, is Mesut Ozil, whose 3.5-year deal that he signed last January is said to be worth some £350,000 a week, a full £150,000 a week ahead of the Gunners' next highest earner. It would be fair to say that at this moment in time, that doesn't appear to be money well spent. Ozil hasn't been a regular for Unai Emery recently, and some have questioned whether the club would have been better cashing in on the mercurial German and making sure that Aaron Ramsey sticks around at the Emirates. Brighton, PASCAL Gross. I must admit that I thought Brighton might struggle this season, but thanks in no small part to the goals of Glenn Murray, they're currently sitting pretty in mid-table. Chris Hughton's prolific frontman, who recently signed a new deal at the Amex, is nowhere to be seen in terms of the club's highest earners though. The Seagulls supposedly have 3 players all tied on £50,000 a week, namely Martin Montoya, PASCAL Gross and Ali Reza Jahanbash, with Gross having the most generous incentives. Now in his 2nd season on the south coast, Gross was the club's talisman in attacking midfield last season, but he's only managed 1 goal so far this term. Burnley, Ben Mee. The highest earner at Burnley is actually said to be the boss, Sean Dyche, and it's difficult to argue with that. On the playing side of things, it is Ben Mee, who signed a new 3-year deal at Turf Moor over the summer. Such a solid and dependable centre-back, Mee hasn't yet been capped by England like his centre-back partner James Tarkowski, but he has been very reliable in his more than 250 appearances for the Clarets. Cardiff City, Alex Smithies. Probably a bit of a surprise, well to me anyway, Alex Smithies is Cardiff City's 2nd choice goalkeeper at the moment, but he's still said to be their best paid player. The Bluebirds have the lowest wage budget in the division, and that is reflected in the fact that they have the lowest paid highest earner, with Smithies and Bobby Reid tied at £30,000 a week. Both players joined the club over the summer from Queen's Park Rangers and Bristol City respectively, but neither have made significant impacts. Smithies is Neil Etheridge's number 2, whilst Reid has scored 2 goals in 14 games. Chelsea, Eden Hazard. Well, it would be wrong if it wasn't. Eden Hazard is comfortably Chelsea's highest earner, supposedly earning just shy of £225,000 a week, whilst former Barcelona midfielder Cesc Fabregas is still in 2nd. Hazard is the star man at Stamford Bridge, and despite his status as the club's highest earner, he could still probably double that salary with a move to one of Spain's big 2. Crystal Palace, WILFRIED ZAHA. There was a lot made of the salary given to Max Meyer when he arrived at Crystal Palace, with the Daily Mail reporting that the club would hand him a £170,000 a week contract. Our sources suggest the actual figure is around £125,000 a week, which puts him just below the Eagles' star man WILFRIED ZAHA. The Ivorian international became Palace's all-time leading Premier League goalscorer this season, but he has only managed 3 goals from 14 games so far this term. Everton, Bernard. This was another that surprised me, to be honest, as I would have thought that Gylfi Sigurdsson, Jordan Pickford and Morgan Schneiderlin were the most likely candidates to be Everton's highest earners. They are all up there, but tied at the top of the tree on a reported £120,000 a week are summer signings Bernard and Yerry Mina. The Brazilian Bernard takes it by virtue of his superior bonuses, and Everton could perhaps afford to be generous when it came to his contract negotiations, since they signed the wide man on a free transfer. Fulham, Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa. Fulham's record signing, having set the club back £30 million during a transfer window in which the club spent more than £100 million, Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa has been pretty underwhelming so far this season. Having joined Fulham from Marseille over the summer, Anguissa's final game for the Ligue 1 outfit was the 2018 Europa League final. Fulham's director of football Tony Khan described him as a world-class talent upon his arrival, but the hard-working holding midfielder is yet to show form consistent with a world-class footballer. He is the Cottagers' highest earner, with Jean-Michel Seri and Alexander Mitrovic not far behind. Huddersfield Town, Aaron Mooy. Huddersfield's highest earner, and rightly so, Aaron Mooy is a player we have been big fans of ever since he joined Huddersfield on loan in their Championship promotion season. The Sydney-born midfield playmaker is intelligent, hard-working, and a really good passer of the ball. Reportedly on almost £50,000 a week, Mooy comfortably out-earns any other Huddersfield player, with the Terriers having one of the lowest wage budgets in the league. Leicester City, Jamie Vardy. There are some very talented footballers in the Leicester City squad, and as such, a few very high earners. Jamie Vardy, Kasper Schmeichel, Harry Maguire, and Andre Silva lead the way in that order, with Vardy taking top spot with a reported salary of £140,000 a week. The former non-league star is vital to Leicester, and his lucrative current deal can largely be put down to the fact he only signed it in the summer off the back of a season in which he scored 20 Premier League goals. Liverpool, Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah signed a new 5-year deal at Liverpool over the summer, which unsurprisingly made him the club's best paid player. £200,000 a week is a lot of money, but I don't think anyone could argue with the fact that Salah is more than earning that right now. Following an extraordinary debut season at Anfield, in which he scored 44 goals, the Egyptian has 13 goals from 24 appearances so far this term. Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero. There's absolutely nothing to split Man City's two highest earners in the forms of Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero, although neither are the best paid individuals at the Etihad, with that title going to manager Pep Guardiola. For our money, De Bruyne is the most talented footballer in the Premier League, whilst Aguero's minutes per goal record since arriving in England has been nothing short of remarkable. Perhaps somewhat more surprisingly, City's third highest earner is apparently Riyad Mahrez. Manchester United, Alexis Sanchez. Manchester United have both the best paid and the most expensive player in the Premier League, but they aren't the same player. Paul Pogba is only United's second highest earner following the arrival of Alexis Sanchez last January. It's a little bit odd that the division's two joint highest earners, Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil, have been nowhere near the best players in the Premier League this season, nor were they last season. Newcastle United, JONJO Shelvey. Newcastle United are another club where the manager out-earns any of his playing staff, but this list is just about the players, so JONJO Shelvey is the man who takes it for the Magpies. Shelvey is reportedly on a £70,000 a week deal, which will run until the summer of 2021, and that puts him some way out ahead in the earnings table at St James's Park. Southampton, Manolo Gabbiadini. Newly appointed Southampton boss Ralph Hasenhüttl has a number of talented players at his disposal at St Mary's, and that's reflected in the club's rather large wage bill. There are a few Saints players on £70,000 a week, but leading the way on reported £80,000 a week is Italian centre-forward Manolo Gabbiadini. Following a bright start to life in England, having joined Southampton in January 2017, Gabbiadini has scored just once this season, and appears to be behind the likes of Danny Ings, Charlie Austin, and Shane Long in the club's attacking pecking order. He has been linked with a return to Serie A this January. Tottenham, Harry Kane. Tottenham star man Harry Kane earns twice as much as any other player at the club, having doubled his weekly wage when he signed a new deal over the summer. The relentless goal-getter, two-time Premier League Golden Boot winner and one-time World Cup Golden Boot winner is only 25, yet he is already Tottenham's 5th highest goal scorer of all time and the 18th highest in the Premier League since 1992.
This is a
Watford, Abdoulaye Doucouré. A player who we are big fans of, Abdoulaye Doucouré reportedly has the same basic wage as Watford striker Andre Gray. He joined the club from Rennes in Ligue 1 in 2016 and has since made almost 75 appearances in the Premier League. Such a strong runner who brings real energy and dynamism to Javi Grazia's midfield, Doucouré is also really good on the ball, and he even chipped in with 7 goals last season. West Ham, Javier Hernandez. The penultimate entrance in this list, and the final entrance where the manager out-earns any of his players, West Ham had to pay top dollar to convince Manuel Pellegrini to take over at the London Stadium. The Hammers have a pretty sizable wage bill, but with a reported £140,000 a week salary, Javier Hernandez is still the club's highest earner by a fair margin. Following a disappointing haul of just 8 goals last season, the man they call Chicharito has hit a bit of form in the last couple of months, and West Ham fans will be hoping he can at least hit double figures this season. Wolves. Rui Patricio and João Moutinho. The final inclusions in this list, we end with Wolverhampton Wanderers and a tie between 2 Portuguese internationals, goalkeeper Rui Patricio and central midfielder João Moutinho. It won't surprise you to know that the 4 highest paid players at Molineux are all Portuguese, but Patricio and Moutinho are way out ahead of anyone else, reportedly tied on £100,000 a week with £10,000 in appearance fees on top. So that's it for our Not Actually a 7. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC Sevens. You can also follow us on Twitter at HITC Sevens.